Hi, this is Bob Maxwell with R.A. Maxwell and Associates, and I want to talk to you today about our MHS Dicer Model 850-90. This is one of the most popular machines that we sell here in the U.S. We sell a lot into the taco shops, into the Hispanic markets, also into the Asian markets for either taco meat, burrito meat, fajita meat, or in like the Szechuan beef and some of those other products where they use stripped or diced meat. So this machine is very simple to operate. You have a power switch here that you turn on. You set your length of your product, the cut, here, so you can go as high as 35 millimeters, which is about 1.5 inches in length. And you can go down to 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters thin. So if you're doing fajitas, for example, we would set it at like a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch by maybe 1/8 of an inch. And then you would have a nice thin, long piece of diced meat. What you do is you set the whole piece down here, and you cut it into sections that are going to fit down into the chamber. The chamber is about 3 1/4 inches wide, about 3 1/4 inches in height, and it's about 12 inches in length. So you just drop the piece of meat in, or multiple pieces of meat in, you close the chamber, and then the machine will start to run. Okay? To stop the machine, you'll hear the pusher that's pushing the meat in, you'll hear that retract, and then open it up and drop in your next piece of meat, and it's just one piece after the other. Okay? On this control here, this is for the single blade that comes with the unit, and then you can also have other attachments. So you can add blades that does shredding or does grating. Okay, and we have to know that ahead of time so that when we build the machine, we build it with heavier duty parts where the blade or the disc would go ahead and sit. All right, so if you are interested in shredding, grating cheese, for example, then you would need to talk to us about that ahead of time. All right, the other thing you can do on this machine that people are really loving is we can do vegetables. So you can dice your vegetables. So if you do a pico de gallo, or you do ceviche, for example, you would be able to do it all in one time, and you just layer it. So you do a layer of onions, layer of cilantro, layer of Roma tomatoes, another layer of cilantro, maybe some jalapenos, and just do your layers inside of this chamber, close the chamber, and out comes your pico de gallo or your ceviche or whatever. All right? So in the front of the machine, we have our grid set. And so we have 2 grid sets. You have one grid set going this way, all right, and that gives you the height of the product. And then you have a grid set going up and down, okay, that gives you the width of the product. And then that dial gives you the length of the product. So it's a 3-dimensional dicer. Now don't be confused, because there's other dicers out there that are 2-dimensional dicers. So it'll either do length or width, but it won't do the height. All right, so this is 3 dimensions. So you can do various cuts. You can do, we set these grid sets up in 7 millimeters, or about 1/4 of an inch. So you can change those blades out every 1/4 of an inch. So you can do a 1/4 by 1/2 by whatever length. You can do 1/2 by 1/2. You can do 3/4 by 1/2 or 1/4. So any increments of 1/4, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and so forth. All right, so that's how you set up these grids. And then you have your large guillotine blade that works off of that dial I showed you for the length. So it's on a time. So as the product is coming through, the slower the time, the longer the cut. All right, the machine is really easy to clean. This top lifts right off. This the lid comes right off. This opens up. This can all be removed by hand, and we're going to show you that here in just a minute. And so there's no tools required except for changing the blades. Okay, but as far as taking everything apart, there's no tools required. Okay, so we're going to show you how easy it is to remove the top and clean this machine. So this is a cutting board. Right now it has material on it because it's a brand new machine. All right, you remove this material and you have a cutting board here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lift this top off. And then this piece slides right out. You hose the machine down, you open the front, hose everything out. When you're ready to, this block comes out. So you can make sure that you get all clean behind here. Put your food grade grease back in your, and this has your sensor in it, so make sure that you're getting it in there into that lip. There's a groove that it fits right in. You just take this, slide this back over. After you've cleaned your lid, sets back down like that. You clean your cutting board, and that's how long it takes to clean the machine and take it apart. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and remove the blades so that it would be getting ready to clean. So you have a handle here, and we have a cover that we put on the blade that comes with the machine. And what that does is it just protects the operator to make sure that they don't get cut while they're removing this. So you put your cover on, you have your handle, take your spanner here, then your blade comes right off. Then you have these two handles here. Now when you put these back on, you're going to want to put some white grease on these shafts so that this slides in and out real easy. So you have one grid set here. And here's the other grid set here. Okay, so now Jordan's going to go ahead and use the tools to remove the blades, and separate the blades. So it's a 17 millimeter wrench that you would use, and then a 17 millimeter socket. So you're going to remove both of the bolts. Then you're going to take it and you're going to push in on that end, holding the other end. And then the blade set lifts out on those pins. Okay? And you would do exactly the same thing with the other grid set. You remove the two bolts at the end. You have a locking nut on there that's going to be right next to the grid set body, right? And so once you get it in place with the main bolt, then you use that nut to go ahead and tighten it down so it doesn't move. Okay, so currently the grid set is set up at 1/4 inch gaps. All right, and so now Jordan's going to go ahead and show you how to make it into a 1/2 inch gap. Just take the first blade out, third blade out, fifth blade out, seventh blade out, ninth blade out, and 11th blade out. Okay, so it's that simple to change your grid set into 1/2 inch. All right, and then you can do the same thing with 3/4 inch. You would use the first blade in the first position, or third position, thank you. And then the next blade goes in the third position. And then you have the end. So now you have 3/4 inch increments or gaps. All right, so it's that simple to change the blades and the size of the dice. All right, so thank you very much. And if you're interested in this machine, give us a call at 951-734-8152. That's R.A. Maxwell, and this is the model MHS 850-90. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.